Hello, my name is Carmen Boykin. I'm an immigration attorney practicing in Alexandria, Virginia. So I handle cases in Virginia, Maryland, and DC. I do primarily deportation defense. So it's been an interesting time right now.
Thank you for being with us today, Carmen. We're really happy to be able to have this space to share how your experience has been since we came into basically your house, your law firm. And well, to continue, the first question that we'd like to make is how big was your caseload before you started using Stafi outsourcing?
Okay, yeah. So my caseload was pretty large. I mean, we had a number of open cases, even if we weren't actively working on petitions, but we had up to about 100 open cases.
That's a big chunk of cases. Definitely. And since you started working with our case outsourcing services, what have you been doing with the time that you're able to?
Yeah, so I've been able to focus on a lot of the clients that are in court, which is a large part of our firm. And so we have clients that have been in court with us and they've won their case, and now they need to do a part with USCIS to continue with their residency process. And so it's been a big help to just form out those cases to Stafi, to get those applications completed. The client knows us well, they know our work, and we can focus on our cases that are facing deportation at the moment. But we have still a number of clients that we want to serve that are doing affirmative USCIS cases. So that's been really helpful to be able to outsource that.
That's great. Yes, yes, you've been able to give relevance to those more sensitive cases on a short note. Yes, that's great. That's great. And have you ever tried any other outsourcing services? And if you have, how would you compare it to our service?
Yeah, I have. I've tried some other outsourcing services. You guys work kind of similar to the last outsourcing service that I used, where I would just send the case over and I'll get something completed back. However, Staffy is a little different in the way that you guys work from the other outsourcing service that I used, because I did have to jump in from time to time with the other outsourcing service. So it may be maybe a translation is needed on the case. Maybe a signature is needed on the form. I would still have to be involved in that step. Whereas with Staffy, I can get, a completed project back to me. I get weekly updates, which is good to see, this is a client that hasn't been reached and, what to do to move them forward, basically. And also my clients haven't had any problems with using Staffy outsourcing. So that's been very good. They've been ready to speak to the Staffy agent rather than me. So,
That's great. That means our team has good communication skills.
right, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
and it's extremely important for us to be able to give the lawyer visibility at all times because at the end of the day, we are talking about people's lives here. So we have to be as detail oriented as possible for sure. And does the flexibility of working on a per case basis rather than hiring an on-site, well, not an on-site, but rather than hiring a staff member full time, has that had a positive impact in your law firm's finances?
It has, because sometimes case load ebbs and flow. For example, we might have a big push of, like, for an example, what we just experienced of getting out residency applications for SIJS applicants. And so, depending on the visa bulletin, we might have a lot of cases that we need to push out that month, and then the next month we don't. And so, it's been helpful to have a service that I can go to on demand and just get those things over to them to get completed.
That's great. That's great. And I know you mentioned about the visibility and about the communication, but what features of Staffy outsourcing do you find most valuable, or do you think those two consolidate? What your thoughts are going?
Yeah, well, I would say the weekly updates are a big point for me, because I can see exactly what the team has done in terms of communication, where they are in the case progress. Like, are they just gathering the documents? Are they on the closing up, wrapping up phase? Is the client non-responsive, unresponsive? So I like to see that.
And then, well, Continuing the conversation on communication, has the Stafi team been able to communicate properly with your staff from your law firm, not just with the clients?
That I feel like I would like to get a little bit more into because Staffy did set me up with, well, they have the CRM set up with immigration. And I
Yes.
actually, on my part, I haven't really logged in to try to see what's going on there. Because I know I did ask the Staffy team, like, could I message you guys through there? And I believe they said that that was an option. And I believe they also message clients from there. And so I haven't really dived into that to see what all has been done. And so I really haven't had to, I guess that's a good thing. I really haven't had to communicate too much with Staffy. You know, I send the case over and then I get the case back and yeah.
That's a good workflow. That's a smooth workflow.
Very smooth.
Yes, yes. But just, for context, you are able to have visibility of the entire workflow through the platform. So
Okay.
if you were at some given point taking out, like handing us out a very sensitive case,
Mhm.
you are able to see exactly where it is. That's how transparent we try to be for you to have that peace of mind and not have that back and forth of communication being necessary. What would you say to somebody who's considering, like this case outsourcing service?
I would say definitely try it out. It's a way to offload you immediately from an overworked or overloaded caseload that you might have. So if you feel like you have capacity issues in terms of a particular month, a particular week, I would say definitely give it a try because you don't have to do a lot to get started with Staffy. You know, it's not like you have to give a bunch of instructions, like I want it done like this. You can just say, I have this case type. You go into the system pretty easily and choose, your subtopics involving that case, which forms you need to get done, and you send it over and you just wait for it to come back.
That's a really great feedback because we try to have the entire team familiarized with the terminology, not just the people that are working on the cases. So when somebody calls and asks for questions, we're able to answer them as a unit, not just, have to call a particular person to answer those questions for them. So that's really good to hear. These are the questions that I had for you today. You are free at this moment to, make any additions or closing statements, but I would like to have, a goodbye note or a little message to the team and to other peer immigration law firms, if that's something that you would be willing to do.
I think just pushing forward, especially in this time with immigration where there's so much need from the community to help with their cases, it's an excellent addition to be able to just outsource to a company that you can trust and know that they will, return a decent product back to you so that you can focus on those cases that do excite you or the ones that you know that you need to put in extra time and dedication to. And it's great to just keep that case flow going in your firm because that keeps your profit margins high. It keeps everything rolling nicely without having the stress of figuring out who you're going to hire next to complete the work that you have on your desk. So that's
Yes, just having that trustworthy party that you can turn on and off as you need it. It's
exactly.
basically what we do. Yes. Well, this is what we were asking for that time of portion. Thank you for your kind words. I will transfer this to the outsourcing team because I know they work really hard every day and they take into consideration absolutely everything. So this is also important for us to be able to deliver the type of content that lawyers actually relate to.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll meet at another conference.
Yes.
Exactly. All right.
Yes.
See you soon.
Have
Thank
a great
you.
weekend.
You
Bye
too.
bye.
Bye.